Blackhead prevention begins with patience, not pressure. Blackheads form when oil, dead skin cells, and tiny bits of everyday debris collect inside a pore, and the top of that plug darkens after exposure to air. They are not a sign that someone is dirty, and they usually do not improve when the skin is scrubbed harshly. In many cases, rough treatment only leaves the skin more irritated, more reactive, and harder to manage. A calm routine usually works better than an aggressive one. Wash the face gently in the morning and again at night with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water. Avoid very hot water, rough scrubs, harsh brushes, and the urge to attack the skin as if it were a stain that can be polished away. If makeup, sunscreen, sweat, or daily buildup is still on the skin at the end of the day, remove it properly before bed. Lightweight, water-based, or non-comedogenic products are often a better choice for skin that clogs easily, especially around the nose, chin, forehead, and jawline. Moisturizer still matters, even when skin feels oily, because skin that feels stripped and uncomfortable can become more reactive. If the skin tolerates it, salicylic acid may help loosen clogged material inside pores, and adapalene may help keep pores from becoming blocked over time. The important thing is to start slowly and stay steady instead of trying too much too fast. Squeezing blackheads with fingernails or tools may feel productive for a moment, but it often leads to irritation, lingering marks, and a cycle of touching the face that creates more trouble than progress. Hair oils, pomades, and heavy styling products can also quietly contribute to clogged pores around the forehead and temples, so it helps to keep those products away from facial skin whenever possible. Pillowcases, hats, and phone screens do not need to become a source of anxiety, but keeping them reasonably clean supports a better environment for the skin. Prevention is not about perfection. It is about making pores less likely to clog, keeping the skin barrier calmer, and choosing a routine gentle enough to keep doing for months. And now, with that practical skin advice folded away neatly like a clean towel in a bathroom cabinet, let us step into the longer, warmer, stranger, and much more cheerful part of the afternoon, where instead of cleansers, cotton pads, and magnifying mirrors, we find ourselves in a small American town full of folding chairs, church coffee, pie plates, raffle slips, cardigans, and one retired gentleman who accidentally becomes the central figure in the most ridiculous senior center pet talent day the county had ever seen. In the town of Briar Meadow, Kansas, 76-year-old Harold Whitaker believed in simple order. Coffee should be hot enough to earn respect. Soup should not contain experimental vegetables. Remote controls should live in one place and one place only, and any event described as wholesome fun was probably one clipboard away from disaster. Harold had retired from the county vehicle registration office after 44 years of forms, stickers, renewal notices, and the specialized labor of explaining to irritated adults that expiration dates were not personal attacks. He lived alone in a neat cream-colored house with a shallow porch, a line of trimmed hedges, and a detached garage, so carefully organized that neighborhood children once looked inside and asked whether the garden tools were alphabetized. His wife, Martha, had died 6 years earlier. Since then, he had built his days in a rhythm steady enough to keep the silence from spreading too far. Coffee at 6, newspaper at 6:15, breakfast at 7, a walk at 8 if the weather had not become theatrical, lunch at noon, a nap after lunch, which he referred to as horizontal maintenance, supper at 5:30, dishes at 6, porch at 6:30, bed at 10. It was a decent life, quiet and orderly, and most days that was enough. But some evenings, especially in late autumn when the house darkened early and the rooms seemed to listen back. The quiet felt a little too large. The chief threat to that carefully managed peace was his next-door neighbor, Peggy Sue Merriweather. Peggy Sue was 72, cheerful, brisk, and powered by the kind of volunteer energy that made sensible people suddenly pretend not to be home. She wore bright sweaters, practical shoes, and reading glasses on a beaded chain that made her look permanently ready to relabel a bake sale table, rescue a raffle, and conscript 3 helpers before anyone else had found a pen. She chaired the Senior Center Social Committee, helped with church meal trains, organized the holiday mitten drive, and believed with total sincerity that every retired person needed engagement, which Harold privately translated as tasks dressed as kindness. On a windy Thursday morning, Harold was sitting on his porch with a mug of coffee and half a slice of cinnamon bread when Peggy Sue came up the walkway, carrying a casserole dish and a thick coral folder. Harold took one look and said, "No." Peggy Sue stopped at the first step. "You haven't even heard the request. You have paperwork. I also have turkey casserole. That makes the paperwork more dangerous. It means I came prepared." "For what?" "For your refusal." Harold leaned back in his chair. "Then at least one of us entered this honestly." She climbed the steps anyway, set the casserole on the side table, and sat down without invitation. "The Senior Center's Harvest Pet Parade has a problem," she said. Harold closed his eyes for one brief second. The Harvest Pet Parade was the yearly event combining a church luncheon, a raffle, a few talent acts, and a parade of seniors presenting their pets in tiny seasonal accessories. To Harold, it represented the exact moment civilization had taken a polite but unnecessary turn. "What sort of problem?" he asked. "The host canceled." "Why?" "His grandson has a marching band competition in Wichita." "That sounds legitimate." He also said he was not really a microphone person. Harold nodded. "That sounds wise." Peggy Sue ignored him. "So naturally, I thought of you." "Why would you do that?" "Because you speak clearly, people trust you, and you are funny." He stared at her. "I am not funny. You are after 70. Dry counts. I worked in county registration. You spent 40 years correcting other people's confusion in full sentences. That is public entertainment." "That is not entertainment. That is administrative endurance. You do not need to perform. Just welcome people, announce the raffle, introduce the pet entries, and keep the afternoon moving. That sounds like work with feathers. That sounds like community. That sounds like avoidable trouble." She smiled. "You'll be good. I'll be reluctant. That is not a talent. It should be." She tapped the folder. "I may already have written your name in pencil." Harold looked at her. "You volunteered me before asking?" "In pencil," she said. "I'm not reckless." "No," he replied. "Just efficient in a way that lowers confidence in public systems. The event is Saturday at 1. And if I refuse, I'll tell everyone you were intimidated by a microphone and a dachshund in a pumpkin sweater." He narrowed his eyes. "That is slander with embroidery." And that was how Harold Whitaker, retired officeman and defender of quiet weekends, became the emergency host of the Briar Meadow Senior Center Harvest Pet Parade and Luncheon. For the next 2 days, Harold prepared as if he were mediating a treaty between hostile pies and unstable terriers. He found his brown blazer, the one reserved for funerals, anniversary dinners, and restaurants where napkins arrived, folded like judgment. He polished his loafers. He wrote note cards. Then he rewrote them. Then he made backup note cards because the first set looked, in his opinion, too trusting. On Friday morning, his daughter, Lynn, called from Omaha. "Dad?" Peggy Sue told Mrs. Grimes. Mrs. Grimes told Aunt Clara, and Aunt Clara told me you're hosting the pet parade. Peggy Sue should not have access to communications infrastructure, Harold said. Lynn laughed. You'll do great. I have 6 note cards. That means you care. That means I am trapped. You always prepare when you're trapped. That is because panic without paper is just theater. Saturday arrived bright and cold. The senior center hall had been decorated in what Peggy Sue clearly considered charming seasonal abundance, and what Harold privately thought of as autumn under committee supervision. Orange tablecloths covered the round tables. Mason jars with battery candles sat beside miniature pumpkins and fake leaves. Along one wall stood the refreshments: casseroles, spice cake, brownies, lemon bars, coffee urns, punch, and enough pie to destabilize moral priorities. Retirees in cardigans and sport coats filled the folding chairs with paper cups and immediate opinions. 2 widowers near the coffee urn were discussing blood pressure medication with the intensity of military logistics. 3 widows near the dessert table had already begun ranking the pies by crust confidence. And then there were the pets: a cocker spaniel in a plaid bow tie, a calico cat in a basket lined with orange ribbon, a parakeet beside a sign reading, "Pickles the Prophet," a sleepy beagle in a tiny scarecrow vest, a rabbit with a velvet pumpkin collar, and, to Harold's private horror, one heavily brushed poodle whose owner had somehow attached glitter leaves to its ears. Peggy Sue met him near the stage. "You're late. I'm 9 minutes early." "That's socially late. That is mathematically false. You look distinguished." "You look dangerous." "That's because I'm prepared." "That is exactly what worries me." She handed him the microphone and schedule card. "Welcome lunch, pet parade, raffle, special tricks round, closing remarks." He looked down. "There is a special tricks round. Only for the willing ones. That phrase is doing dangerous work." Then she vanished. Harold stepped to the microphone. It squealed sharply. Half the room jumped. "Well," he said, "that certainly reduced the need for a subtle opening." The room laughed. "Interesting," he thought. He adjusted the microphone. "Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Briar Meadow Harvest Pet Parade, the only event in town where you can drink church coffee, win preserves, and evaluate a rabbit in velvet without legal consequences." The laughter came warm and immediate. "My name is Harold Whitaker, and I'm your host this afternoon."